Let's spend some time with something that I consider larger than life. This is the Hummer H2 SUV, whatever. Under the hood of this Hummer H2, you're going to find GM's 6-liter V8 engine. In this particular truck, it makes 315 horsepower, which obviously is a decent-sized engine. You can see these handles will actually pull the hood forward, but you got your traditional clasps. Everything about this truck is larger than life. I mean, look at how tall it is next to me. I'm 6 feet tall, and I'm just a measly little peon here. But as large as this truck is, the point I want to make with this is how luxurious it really is. Once you're inside, you really kind of feel semi-invulnerable. You sit up high, the seats are awesome, the interior appointments are fantastic. This particular H2 is in stunning condition, but let's walk around it. If you don't know anything about these, we'll educate you. Alright, let's take a walk around this H2. You got a custom painted grille here. It is painted in Hummer letters. We're all laid individually. They are a three-dimensional lay on top of. Just to show you, you know, I obviously like to make a note of any imperfections. You got a light stone chip here. You have an extraordinarily light stone chip here. Other than that, I mean, you know, these cars really don't get beat up. I hate to use the term beat up because it's such a vague term, but you know, not susceptible really to road grime or you know, road hazards. They're up so much higher, but they're pretty impressive. This is a BF Goodrich all-terrain TA, a very popular tire. It is sized LT315 70R17. Mud and snow rated, obviously, as you'd expect, but these, for their size, are still extremely capable off-road. You can see the proper H2 badging there. You've got the chrome step bars on the lower part there. It's tough to see the reflection in white, but that whole entire driver's side is fantastic. The chrome gaslit here, excellent condition as well. Well, let's walk around in the back. You can see a lot of these components on the rear are susceptible to rust. They just oxidize with use, and that whole entire bumper, there's nothing to show for it. Believe me, if you don't believe me, check out some other Hummer pictures. You'll understand exactly what I mean. But the rear tire, never used. But everything on this truck, I mean, these tires have got to be nearly 100%. You can see the one of my favorite components, the secret service handle, so you can talk into your cufflink as you're going 65 miles an hour on the side of the road. And then just back down the passenger side. Nothing to note. It's beautiful. Most of the H2s have the spare mounted inside along the wall over there. It takes up so much real estate inside. Obviously, it's a good size on the outside, but this is definitely the setup I would prefer based on experience with these cars. This just swings wide. Obviously, this is where the license plate goes on the non-rear spare Hummers. But not a terrible step-in height. You've got the full set of Hummer floor mats, which I really need to stress the condition they're in. They really are beautiful. So you've got full front and rear. Also, you do have the 6th seat back here, so you have a 3rd row for an extra occupant. Across the front seats, I really can't note anywhere to this interior of this H2. But as noted, the step-in, it's a little higher than normal. But you got a grab handle here as well as the step. But once you're inside, I mean, everything is absolute top-notch quality. If you look at the kind of substantial door here, you do have heated seats for both front occupants. This will raise and lower all the windows at once. You do have 2-position memory with a exit function. You can see down here, you have the Bose symbol there, indicating that the car's equipped with the Bose sound system. Once you're inside the H2, it actually doesn't feel very substantial. You've got a very commanding seating position, tilt wheel here, but you sit up high. The visibility is fantastic out of the front, and actually the left and right, you got these mega mirrors to give you a good side view as well as rear view. But multi-function steering wheel with a ton of options. You got automatic headlamps out front like virtually any GM car does these days. Great, very simple but easy legible layout for the gauges, but you do have a multifunction trip computer right through the odometer display there. Automatic four-wheel drive system. If you're in the four-wheel high mode here, this is actually a variable system which will operate in 2. When electronically selects 4, you won't know it, but it'll just go. This is four-wheel high lock as well as four-wheel low lock. There's a neutral setting for the transfer case as well, but great system. Take a look over here. You're going to find your navigation system as well as your audio. Plug it right in there. You can see your stereo runs right through there. You got a single CD up top there. Great stereo, like I said before, Bose sound system, and it's phenomenal. Below that, you have the automatic climate control. So you've got dual zone, so you can actually just set it to wherever you so choose. Below that, GM's traditional OnStar. I'm not sure why they put it right here, but it's there. So if you need to use the OnStar, provided it's activated, you've got it there. Number of power outlets. A really beefy shifter here. This is kind of a huge grab handle in a way. Just pull it right back into drive. Works like any other shifter. But also, the last major piece you're going to find up here is right above my head. Probably one of the biggest moonroofs I've ever seen. In the rear, you're going to find a place that I almost wish I was a kid. You can see you got rear twin headsets for the DVD player up here. You do have an individual DVD player in both headrests. The neat part is this particular truck, which doesn't always accompany it, does have both headsets as well as the DVD remote, but you're talking about some very, very comfortable seats back here. You do have your own media center here in the middle, and as well as heated seats for the outboard occupants. Pretty sweet. Behind the wheel of the H2, it's a pretty impressive experience. There really isn't any other truck that drives like this. I always enjoy just being behind the wheel. You sit so far up, you really do feel like you're driving something very substantial, but extraordinarily comfortable seats. They use the top notch of materials in here. This truck really doesn't differ from used. You can't even hear the tires. You know, as these tires age, if they're not cared for, you know, you tend to hear them. But you can see the navigation screen there. We're heading through a private park area, but dual zone climate, just pretty much every amenity you can imagine. Probably the biggest sunroof I know of. And you know, even though these have been out since the 03 model, these cars really still do get a lot of looks. Now more on the, not so much efficiency end, but the powertrain end. You got a 6-liter V8, decent sized V8 with 315 horse, but it's geared for low end torque. It's very quiet, but the beauty of it is that GM makes a great V8. It's pushrod. They're considered some of the most fuel efficient V8s out there. So even with something of this size, it still is very, very efficient and makes a great V8 noise. Ever since H2 was introduced to the U.S. market, I mean, it's been an absolute phenomenon. 03, back then I was a buyer for the CarMax Corporation. I remember trying to buy these just for national retail and not being able to touch them. I mean, they were so far out of the book because they were the hottest commodity ever. You'd see everybody there trying to buy the thing at once. But very, very comfortable, extremely well equipped, and the condition alone, I think, speaks volumes of this particular truck. You know, this isn't a truck for everybody. It's definitely for a distinct buyer. When we get a Hummer buyer, we genuinely recognize they pretty much pick what they want. This is a great example of such. On my hand here, I've got a copy of the AutoCheck Vehicle History Report, 2006 Hummer H2. The score's perfect. There's really no information on here aside from registration events, as it always is with us. It was a leased vehicle. We were lucky enough to buy the car off lease, but beyond that, there really isn't much else to discuss. No vehicle accident history, and obviously the condition speaks volumes. But check out the pictures of this Hummer. You're going to find it on our website. You'll find us at chicagocarsdirect.com or see our entire highlight reel. You'll find us at YouTube. It's youtube.com/chicagocarsdirect. But thanks for spending some time with us, and we'll see you again soon.